Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of IG Live, where we strive to give you guys value in different areas, different fields, different niches. Welcome back to another episode. Last week was fire. We were able to connect with different people. Each week we're connecting with different people. And I tell you what, this is something that you want to tune into each and every week, regardless of your space, regardless of your industry, regardless of what you're into. The people that we're going to have on here each week will be providing value within their respective spaces, whether you're in real estate, social media, entrepreneurship, ministry, whatever it is that you're attached to or associated with. You're going to find some value and insight from each and every one of our guests, because we all have a story, we all have life experiences, and we can learn from each other, we learn from one another. And so I'm excited to have with me this week Abraham, who I know here locally in San Diego. He's a successful entrepreneur in different spaces, and he's going to be jumping on up here in just a few moments, and it's going to be a really good episode because we're going to talk about being an entrepreneur while also making an impact, right? So this is going to be a good episode, not just about making money, but having significance in your culture, in your community, in society. So this is going to be a great episode. We're going to have Abraham come on up now, hopefully. And it looks like we have some traction here. All right.
Hey,
there it is.
what's
There
going
it is.
on,
Hey,
man?
what's up, bro?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
how are
man.
you?
So it's
In the office?
my workspace over here. It's in my garage.
Okay.
Yeah, in
Oh, in the
the garage, getting
garage. All
to it,
right.
man. Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I was excited when you said you wanted to come on, because I know, you're involved in
Yeah,
all kinds of different things. I see you on social media. I see you in the community, and you're just an innovator, and
for sure, man, for
you're
sure.
a
Yeah,
go-getter.
I just always have that itch, man, where I gotta just keep moving and keeping things going, especially now with kids. So yeah, man, definitely. Same with you. I see you doing the same thing as well,
I
man, which
feel
is
you.
exciting. I love seeing other people, other entrepreneurs, and connecting with them. So that's why I'm excited to be on this with you.
For sure, bro. Yeah, man. And it's funny because I bumped into you a couple times just, going about my day here in San Diego, and you got different things. I mean, we met through some basketball tournaments,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was
When
a
you had
really good time through the San Diego
that
Kings,
tournament
right?
going, that 3-on-3 tournament, I brought the Kings out, and we had the Attorney King 10 out, and yeah, we are doing a little marketing and joined the tournament. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it
That
was a
was
good. That
pre-COVID,
was
yeah.
pre-COVID,
That
right?
was definitely pre-COVID. Yeah.
Pre-COVID. Yeah, and we're making our way out, right? We're kind of coming out of the fog
Yeah,
and
man. That
getting
COVID
things
actually
going.
shut down the San Diego Kings, so that's what had me pivoting around that time.
Wow. Okay. So yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about what you're involved in currently? Like, what are your current ventures that you have going on, entrepreneurial wise, or whatever you
For
got going
sure.
on with
Well,
community and all
as of
that?
right now, recently, I actually, as of this year, beginning of this year, I joined a uniforms company. When I had the San Diego Kings, when I had the basketball team,
Okay.
I went through a lot of different vendors and just to be able to make some uniforms and get apparel. Yeah, and I ended up coming up with a really good
Oh, nice.
manufacturer that I started working with. So I started becoming a manufacturer, started getting into uniforms and apparel for people locally around San Diego. And with that, as of recently, I actually joined Uniforms Express, and we make baseball uniforms, football, basketball
Okay.
for teams all over the world. It's been around over 25 years. So I took over the sales team and been working with that this year, which I'm really excited about to help grow that thing. You know, I work it from home. This is my home
Mm.
office I work from right now, and I manage the sales team with a couple other people that work from home as well. But I really plan to really take this thing to
Got
another
it.
level and be able to make it a lot larger than what it is now. And there's just so much growth because there's teams everywhere that need uniforms. So definitely a great potential in that. And I also actually got into pickleball and tennis, which is something new this past year. Last summer, I
Oh,
actually met a guy from
okay.
Newport Beach. He owns the largest tennis and pickleball private club out that way. And I didn't even know what pickleball was at the time, but it's the fastest growing sport in America right now. So it's something that I jumped on. And I actually run their tennis tournaments on the weekend and still trying to
Wow.
figure my way out with this pickleball stuff as well.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know you play football. Yeah, I know you got some clout, some accomplishments there in the football space, but now you're
Yeah, man.
dabbling in pickleball. Okay. Yeah.
I love
You're just a
sports. I
sports
love
fan.
sports. Football, basketball, baseball, ran track. But this pickleball and tennis is something new, though. Tennis, I never thought I would like, but it's actually a really exciting sport. But pickleball, tennis I can't play.
Huh.
Maybe later I'll play a little bit, but pickleball, that's something I could definitely play. So I love playing some pickleball.
You know, tennis, that's something I've been wanting to actually get. I feel like because me and my wife, I want to do something kind of athletic with her. And I feel like if we play tennis, since we both have no talent there at all,
I'd go
like it could
pickleball
actually
before
be a pretty
tennis.
fair
It's a lot
game.
easier to learn and it's more social. Yeah. First time I
Oh
played
yeah?
pickleball, I played with some 60-something-year-old ladies at the club. And no lie, they kicked my ass. And they were talking shit while they were doing it. And I was so mad that I was like, I got to figure this out. And then I started getting better and started talking my trash back and got back at them. But yeah, it's definitely a fun sport.
Wow. So is it kind of like, I don't know, tennis and something else?
It's a little bit like ping pong on a tennis court. It's fun, man. It's addicting too. It's
Ping
addicting.
pong on a
It is
tennis court.
addicting.
Okay.
But you can play men, women, old,
Got you.
young. So that's the beauty of it. That's what I do like about it the most.
And so outside of that,
I
are
am, and
you
I
still
still
with
market for
Attorney
Attorney
King?
King as well. I'll always be marketing Attorney King, here in San Diego. I'm a San Diego guy. He's really known in San Diego over 25 years as an attorney. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely with Attorney King as well.
So how, I mean, you've been with him for some time.
So back
How'd that
in
get going for you?
2016, that was my first dabble. I wanted to do something more for the community. Being a football player my whole life, I always had
Okay.
dreams of making it to the NFL one day, and I'll have all this money, and I'd be able to come back to my community and give back. And well, I never made it to the NFL, so I'm like, I need to find a way to at least give back. And I started finding, something special happening when I was able to like put together a basketball league, raise money for my school. I realized it wasn't just having to become this millionaire or like, get this, fame of making it to the NFL to actually do something for my community. I just started with something small as a basketball league, and that grew to where I was approached about actually owning my own basketball team, and I had to figure out, well, how the hell am I going to fund that? And I would see,
Yeah.
I would see Attorney King's name like everywhere, and so that's when I decided I need to reach out to this guy. And so, literally, long story short, I snuck into his office and pitched him the idea of, hey, we could start a basketball team together and name it the Kings. And with that, man, he took me in and we became partners with the San Diego Kings. And since then, I've just been marketing and building on that since.
Yo, that is heavy. So, okay, if there's anybody who's been thinking about stepping out on something, man, you got to take note of what he just said. Like Abraham, he didn't wait for something to happen. He literally made something happen. Like you went somewhere you weren't supposed to be. You just showed up.
I feel
You
like I
got
was in an
in
accident.
somehow.
For sure,
Hey
for
man, you got to do
sure.
what you got
Yeah, I had a
to do.
good friend named Dustin Devane who set that up, and set up a meeting. And that's when I got in there. And he had seen me reaching out to him on social media. And he's like, "You're the basketball guy, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Look, I'll give you 5 minutes. I don't have much time today." And he had a packed office. And that 5 minutes turned into a 45-minute meeting where by the end he was like, "You know what? I like you. Let's do this." Yeah, it worked out, man. Yeah, it worked out.
Hey, that's
So that was a
awesome,
blessing.
bro. So just like that.
That was
That was back in
2016. I
2016.
started, that's when I started my nonprofit organization. I started giving back to the school. Then 2017, that's when I snuck in his office and wanted to turn it into a professional basketball team.
That's fire. That's fire. And for those who don't know, the San Diego Kings, man,
Yeah, we're
a semi-pro team, right?
team in the American Basketball Association. And I had it for,
And Ron Artest and other pro
I
players.
sent some guys to Europe, Mexico, Canada, the Harlem Globetrotters. So that was a really good feeling. And besides that, my marketing strategy was giving back to the community. So I wouldn't even call it marketing. It was just more so, how am I going to get these kids interested in the Kings? I wasn't trying to think, let me just sell tickets and get people to come to these games. I understood that, you know what, I need to go out and win over these kids. And that's where we started going school to school with these guys. And when you have, guys dunking for these kids, you just don't see guys dunking every day as it is. So when you're seeing that for these kids, and then I was able to speak at these schools, it was definitely felt really good to give back and get these kids excited to want to come watch the team play. So that's where a lot of the exposure and growing of the team would happen, was that every day, school to school, being able to give back in the community.
Wow. So you had, not only were you trying to make something happen, but there was something like you had a driving motive. Like it was, you wanted to get involved with the community and impact the community.
I really seen this as something long term. And I knew right away, you just don't win people over. It's gonna take something special. So that's why I realized, we went over these kids will forever want to be fans of the San Diego Kings. And that was the whole goal, going school to school and actually making an impact on these kids.
Powerful. Yeah, I mean, it's true. People don't care about how much you know, how much you care, right? And you're making an impact. You're creating opportunities. You're creating a platform, and at a young age, that's something. I mean, I'm sure you know it. Whenever somebody kind of supported you, helped you out at a young age, that leaves a lasting impact.
Definitely, man. I even had parents, call me or reach out to me on social media, and really, I remember one parent called me and he's like, "Man, the Chargers sent some linemen to our school. My kid didn't even care." He's like, "But after seeing the Kings come to the school, my kid came back all excited. You guys gave him a shirt. I can't even get him to take the shirt off." He's like, he wants to wear it every day. He's like, "Man, you guys really did something special that day." So that felt really good when I get, phone calls or emails or social media messages about that. That's what I love the most.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
bro. That's impact. That's impact, not making like doing something for yourself, but when you can make a difference in other people's life. I believe that's the difference between success and significance. Success is like what you can do for yourself, but now you have significance when you're doing something that's impacting others to that extent, like you just shared.
It's a selfish feeling for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Now, going back, where did this marketing kind of desire come from? Did you start off in school? So you consider yourself a marketing
at least
expert,
locally,
right?
here in San Diego. I'm not your guy who's going to, build your national exposure. But where that came from was when I was in high school, the KUSI PPR in football was like a big thing every Friday. And at that time, I had MySpace. And so after Friday night games, my MySpace Saturday mornings, I'd always see like 30, 40 new people, adding me as a friend on MySpace. And at that time, I was like, dang, my name is getting out there. This is a network. And I just understood it was a network. So I always kept social media from platform to platform. And I realized that my San Diego base was pretty good. And that's where I was always able to tap into that San Diego that San Diego base when it came to marketing. So that's why, you know, partnering with somebody like Attorney King, who markets in San Diego for car accidents in San Diego, that was a no-brainer. When it came to San Diego Kings and we wanted to market for a fan base in San Diego, it's a no-brainer, you know. But as of now, you know, I am expanding where I still have a good platform locally, and it has grown even, you know, outside of San Diego because of basketball, you know, playing teams from other states and cities. But even with this uniforms company, we get people from all over different countries as well as all over different states. And that's why I'm learning a lot more about Google Ads and being able to hit those different markets and being able to market online to drive that, to drive those sales. I'm always learning, man. I'm always trying to learn and evolve.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I would definitely consider myself a marketer because of the local following that I was able to, you know, gain over the years.
That's awesome.
MySpace,
it all started from MySpace.
MySpace and KUSI. Funny thing, I'm actually wearing my KUSI shirt right now.
It's
one of them, at least.
Oh, let's go. Hey,
nah,
is there MySpace account
how do you even
active?
get back into that? I'd love to just to see the embarrassing pictures.
It's you know, I went back to mine a couple of years ago. I was like, man, who is this dude? I didn't even recognize myself. It was kind of funny, but you know, we talk about kind of how you got started. You know, I think about my kind of early experience when it came to running a business and stuff. Like one of my first hustles was selling mixed CDs. So back in the days of like Napster and, you know, LimeWire, all that stuff, pretty much like I think I was in middle school and I would be like, hey, yo, I got those mixtapes, $10, $1 a song. And people would basically give me a list of the songs they wanted. And I would go back home and, you know, hit up Napster, get those songs downloaded and burn them onto the CD. And then that was my first side hustle. And then, you know, there was another one. I would buy a bunch of candy, like wholesale. And then I would flip it. I would go back and sell it at store and make like, I bought it for like $5 and make like 50
You were the kid.
bucks
You were the kid in
back.
front of Vaughn's or Food for Less or.
No, actually, I would just sell that during school. Like during school, I'd be like, hey, yo, like during lunch, I'd be like, yo, what's up? I got them slice pops.
That's tight,
was
man.
the plug for the
You
slice
just
pops.
always had that entrepreneur spirit in you.
It just, just making things happen. You know what I mean? Because I mean, in middle school, you can't get a job,
right?
And I had to do something. So, but what's like some of your early experiences when it came to like where you started to kind of cultivate that entrepreneurial spirit?
My first job,
how did that get
I was
going
10
for
years
you?
old, and I would always go to Hollywood Video. It was on 2nd Street, 2nd and Broadway. There was a Hollywood Video store over there, and I'd live on Broadway, so I'd walk all the way over there, and this is in El Cajon, and I'd walk all the way over there, me and my buddy, and the people in the store would just always see it. We were just always in there, but we never got nothing, you know? And it was just a thing for us. It was air conditioned in the summer, and we were just hanging out in the Hollywood Video store. And one day, one of the workers I asked, I was like, if I were to like clean the shelves and like stock some of the videos and games, could I like get a rental and get candy and a soda? And literally that became my little summer thing. I'd go over there in the morning. I'd start cleaning the shelves. I'd stock whatever they need me to stock. And they'd give me one of those big candies, which was like amazing when you're a kid, and a little drink. And every time I'd go, my brothers and sisters would be like, get this movie or get this video game on Sega. I remember I'd get my little Sega games. And so I always got like free little videos and games. Well, not free. I was working for it, but that was my little gig. Yeah, that was my little gig. I was like 10 years old at the time.
Okay. All right. So that's when you kind of started like, oh man, I can.
Yeah, for sure.
You saw the opportunity.
I see my boy Shabadai. He says 2nd and Madison. You're right.
Nice.
It is 2nd and Madison. I said 2nd and Broadway.
Oh,
yeah, I used to live on Broadway by Bostonia, and I used to walk over to Hollywood Video on 2nd and Madison. Yeah, no, go on. That's funny. Thanks, Shabadai.
Dang. That's wild.
Different time.
Hey, it's a new time now. It's a
Right.
whole new, everything's online, Netflix, and you can buy your games and all that
For
right
sure.
there
But that was like
on the
my first little
console.
hustle. And then when I was,
It's a whole nother beast.
and then I got into like just kind of like all types of network marketing. Um, I got into Cutco knives, selling knives for a little bit. Then I got into prepaid legal
Okay.
services, and prepaid legal services is where I got into more of a entrepreneurial mindset because they had us actually reading books. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad for my first time. That changed my life completely. And I just got more into. I just got hungry for
Man,
learning
wow.
this different lifestyle, and that's where my mindset just completely changed about everything in life, finances, football,
Mm,
everything just changed completely. It wasn't just sports for me anymore. It was like more getting kind of business minded and getting kind of
mm.
excited about learning new things and challenging myself a lot more.
That's true, man. Dude, like, so I played basketball growing up. I kind of had the same idea. Like, I was trying to get to the league, all that stuff. Didn't work out. Play a little bit of JUCO college, junior college in Florida. But I feel like a lot of the principles and the work ethic that you learned in
Right,
sports
definitely.
kind of carries over. Like that carried over into who I am today, how I carry myself when had my career within business and just in my regular disciplines. And so, like, when it comes to opportunities, right? Because I think it's important for people to understand, like, entrepreneurship is difficult, and like the first thing you step out to
Right.
do is probably not going to succeed, right? I mean, for context, why don't you tell the people, like, how many different things you've stepped out to do? Is like, how many
Shoot,
different
man, where
ventures have you
can I
stepped out to do?
start? From the network marketing between Cutco, prepaid legal, this coffee one. I got into starting my own. I started basketball leagues. I started a Gentleman's Touch, where I seen on Shark Tank this great idea of men getting their own manicures and pedicures, but instead of its own
Oh, wow.
salon for just men, I was like, why not put this in a barber shop? And I started going into that, putting it into barbershops.
Mm,
Then the Kings. I got into NFTs about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
you
Now into pickleball
did,
tennis
yeah.
uniforms. Yeah, I've gone on and on, and like you said, man, it's not easy. It is hard. Just trying to kind of find your niche, find something that you get excited about every day. And to this day, I still want to challenge
Yeah.
myself every day and try to figure out, how can I get better every day? I'm in my 30s now, and I'm always trying to figure out how to continue to challenge myself. How can I get better? It's no secret right now, cost of living is expensive as hell. So you got to be able to make more money. And now I have a family as well. So being an
Cash
entrepreneur, having a
flow.
family, cost of living up, it's not as easy as it was then to try as many different things. Now I got to take more calculated risks than it would when I was, in my 20s, early teens. But in my 20s,
Mm,
man, I was just taking risks. Like I said, I
yeah.
watched Shark Tank one day. By the next day, I was trying to start my own business out of it. Like it was it's
Yeah.
just when you're in your 20s, do that. But in my 30s with kids now, like I said, now it's more calculated of a risk. I got a whole family to look out for. It's not like in my 20s I would have couch surfed and been just fine. Ain't enough couches for my family right now to,
Right.
to even try that.
Nah, nah. That's good. I mean, so when you're younger, you can afford to take more risks as you kind of get more responsibilities. You kind of have to be more calculated with what you step out to do. So with that thought in mind, how do you go up? Like, what are the things that you look for when it comes to stepping out? Like, when you see I mean, a good opportunity when you see one. What are
I
the
just
things that you
look
look
to
for?
see, does it make sense and does it make money? It has to be able to make money and make sense. Time and money are very,
Yeah.
two things that time that's something we just can't get back. So definitely don't want to just waste time. And then money, just
Right.
because cost of living and everything else, you got to be able to make money. So when I'm looking at that between those two, and also, is this something that I could put my name behind, or is this something that I would be interested in doing? Is this something that would make me feel good about doing, you know? So those are pretty much the main factors
Yeah.
that I would say I look into. What about yourself?
Okay. Now, yeah, that's good because like I started an NFT. I think we talked about like NFT project too. And one thing that I was really nervous about was associating my name with it. Because I know once you kind of put yourself out there, it's like, oh man, like this is your credibility, this is your reputation.
Right.
And so I obviously wanted it to do good. So anything, I mean, what I try to do is whatever I can do that's not going to take me away from the main thing. You know what I mean? Like we all have a set of values and principles. And so I'll step out to do whatever I can do as long as it doesn't take me away from
Right.
the direction that I'm going in. You know, because there's so many ways. I mean, in America here to make money, there's so many different things that you can get into. But just like you said, like you got to be calculated. You got to consider different factors. Like, okay, if I say, because when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, right? And it's like, what can I afford? Like, is it worth it to say yes to this? Because I'm also saying no to these opportunities that may seem good as well. And then like, is my family, is my main thing going to be compromised? So as long as the checks are meeting the box in those areas,
Right.
that's what I'm looking out for. So we talk about, I actually went to a business conference the other day, about a couple of months ago, and a lot of people talked about like these are really successful. I mean, they're making, millions, tens of millions, and a lot of them were talking about like you got to have your why. Yeah, you got to have your why behind what it is that you do. I was just talking about like your values and principles, and like for myself, outside of being an entrepreneur, I'm also a minister there with the church. So my why is to be there to serving people, leading people to the Lord, and being a blessing. And that's my why. Having resources, having the income coming in, helps you to be more effective, because making impact, it costs money. You got to have resources. So for yourself, Abraham, like what do you say? What's like your why? I mean, we all want to be successful. We want to have the money coming in. But
So
what's
my why
your
has
why?
always been family. My mom was always my why growing up, and she's still my why. I still have that dream to put her in this big old home and have her cooking up those family meals, those Sunday meals for us. It's still my why. As I've had kids as well, it's definitely changed a lot. With having kids, where I want my kids to be able to experience and see this world. It's bigger than just San Diego, and I feel like we do get stuck in a little bubble between like school, work, life, but I want my kids to be able to experience more out of this and be able to travel the world. So that's something that really drives me, and something that I look forward to, being able to just travel, seeing different parts of the country, different countries, and be able to experience that with my family.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. So your mom is one of the most powerful
Definitely, man. My
figures in
mom
your
was a
life,
single mom
man.
of four. Yeah, she was a single mom
She
of
made an
four and
impact.
didn't know any English when she came to America. And yeah, a year after she
Oh,
came here, I
wow.
was born. And I'm the youngest of four. And I literally got to watch my mom, who didn't even speak English, kind of use me as a translator by the time I was 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, before, being in school. I was going with her to like the post office,
Really?
the bank, the grocery store. And I clearly remember translating for her, whether it was like this certain bread or certain spices, or being at the bank asking certain questions, or, the post office to be able to send stuff off. And,
Mm.
I was a young kid doing that. And at the same time, this woman was working, three different jobs, from being a nurse overnight to watching parents or watching kids, for people in our apartments getting paid to watch their kids, to
Yeah.
working on the back of food trucks. And then, her hard work, by the time I was about 10, 11, one woman, she was an overnight nurse lived out in Del Mar, Billy McVeigh, I'll never forget her. She basically brought my mom in, paid her 6 figures, and my mom stayed with her because she just loved how hard my mom worked and her personality. And my mom literally was with that woman for over 10 years before she passed away, taking care of her. And my mom made a great living doing that. And she definitely inspired me, when it came to just working hard and doing whatever you got to do for your family.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. That's a testament of why, how much more valuable hard work is over talent. I'm sure you've heard that before in the sports world. Like, the coach is going to take the guy who's going to hustle, 10 times harder than the guy who's talented, right? And it sounds like that's where you got that foundation from. And, I think it's similar to myself too, because sometimes I think people can look, they can look at after the fact, people probably look at you and be like, oh man, like you had all the opportunities and, like you were born with a silver spoon. It's like, bro, like you see the glory, but you don't know the story. You don't know the background. You don't know the struggle. And really it's just consistent hard work, consistently stepping out and in faith, believing to do something more, to do something better. And I think that's the key really because my definition of failure is when you give up. Like, we're all going to fall short, but as long as you keep trying, you're going to be successful. And like your mom had that breakthrough. You've had your breakthrough. Everybody who works hard and presses forward is going to get that breakthrough.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely takes consistency and hard work, that's for sure, And working smart. Overlooking working smart. You gotta work smart at the same time too,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Hit as many birds with one stone as you can. Yeah. Because you don't want to work harder than you need to, right? Don't use a bulldozer to push a rock or a little pebble. Working smarter rather than harder. So when it comes to, like, let's say there's somebody watching, right? And they're new to the business field, they're new to entrepreneurship. What are some things you will tell them, or even what would you tell yourself if you could go back, 10, 20 years? What are some things you would tell yourself that you do differently, or to keep in mind, or to watch out for?
I would tell my younger self, just stay consistent, definitely study more, be more aware of what you're getting into. Because I know, when you're kind of a go-getter, you just jump in and go. But there's a lot more research and studying that can make, working smarter. And I feel like that working smarter is something that I would definitely go back and tell myself to just, there's a lot of things I wouldn't have done because I would have done more research before I did it, and it would have saved me some money. It would have saved me some time. But I learned from that. That's for sure. It was definitely a learning lesson. But I would definitely say to just be more consistent, study harder, learn more before taking action.
That's good, bro. That's really good. I'm right there with you because, I have this thing that I say sometimes when I step out to do something, it's like I'm building the plane as I'm flying it. And it's like, I'm making it happen. But if I would have, this is why I really believe in mentorship and, asking others like who are in places that you want to go, asking them their success, like, hey, what did you do? Having like a coach that you can have give you direction, who has some success. that's one thing that I would say too, man, is like, I'm grateful for my work ethic and making things happen. But man, when you can get in the room with somebody who is where you already want to be, then that is just going to you're going to save time, you're going to save energy, you're going to save effort, and it's just going to be a much better situation.
Agree. Having a mentor is huge, I wish I'd have been calling my mentors more. I was kind of like, oh, I got a mentor, but I wouldn't call them as much as I should have.
Yeah.
So that's something I definitely wish I would have did as well.
No. And the consistency too, man. That's shoot, bro.
That's everything. Being consistent is everything.
Right. That's something I'm trying my best, because I committed this year to posting content every day, Monday through Friday. I gotta tell you what, man, it's a grind. It's a grind, but hey, man, consistency is key, bro. Consistency is key. Well, shoot, hey, Abraham, like but outside of the sports gear, how else can people get in touch with you? If whatever, how can people support you? I know you got the NFT, you got this thing, and you got some other stuff, Attorney King. How can people get alongside what you're doing or get involved and back you up?
I mean, when it comes to pickleball, that's another thing I'm jumping into heavily. Those interested in pickleball could definitely reach out to me. When it comes to marketing, I still market Attorney King Omnipore. Anybody you know of, heard, or ever gotten into an accident or injured, you could definitely reach out to me. I'd love to be able to get them the right person behind them with Attorney King's office. And like you said, with the uniforms right now, that's one of the main things that I'm focused on. So any sports teams, any uniforms, jerseys, even companies, they have like company events. I do a lot of company events. We make baseball jerseys or football jerseys or something. I'm definitely the guy that can help get that made. Or any apparel, hoodies, T-shirts, jackets. We make some really cool jackets as well. Yeah, I'm definitely the guy to reach out to.
Oh, so just like kind of sports related
all
merch.
Apparel. All apparel.
All apparel. Oh, well, there it is. So you're the plug. If somebody wants to start a brand,
I'm the guy.
Get some merch, apparel wise, like hats, socks,
belts,
all of it.
Freaking hoodies, jackets, sweaters. Not shoes. I'm not at the shoes yet. That's a different ball game.
Yeah, that's a whole other league. That's what's up. Okay, so you got another handle, or is there like
here on IG or Facebook, LinkedIn, my name? It's a one of one. You're not going to find another Abraham Muhazy spelled that way. So yeah, you can find me pretty easily.
Yeah. Cool. Well, what I'll do is in the description, in the comments, I'll make sure to follow Abraham for all your marketing or apparel creation needs. He's the man. Also, if you need some attorney advice as far as being injured and all that stuff, he's the connect. I tell you what, there's not a street corner I can turn down and not see one of those signs. So that marketing is on point. I'm sure there's business coming in
amazing when it comes to marketing.
The
King
time.
knows what he's doing.
So even if you're,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, definitely.
Well, he's working with the right people.
Even on the radio, listen to the radio.
People
we got a rap song on the radio for him now. Yeah, yeah. Get it the rep. Need a check. Call the king.
Oh man. Hey.
He's doing it. Yeah, he's doing it, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do, right? That's what's up, bro. Hey, well, dude, Abraham, any last thoughts?
I think we covered a lot, man. For all those, looking for motivation or trying to get going, just do it. Stay consistent. Don't be motivated one day and not the next. And with that, man, hey, I really appreciate you having me on this. This was a lot of fun. It's nice to talk a little bit, and because this year I've been head down grinding, so I don't get too many of these. So it's no, I really appreciate it.
No, for sure, and that's the mindset of an entrepreneur. You're not going to see.
For sure.
They're in the trenches, right?
So over here in the garage, in the trenches, grinding away every day.
Dude, man, you're right.
Lab
that's not the garage.
Here.
That's the lab, bro.
The 3 screens just going.
That's the lab. That's where Dang. Hey,
For
hey.
sure,
That's
man.
where
For
you make
sure.
things happen.
Well,
Awesome, bro. Hey, well, shoot,
yeah.
it was a great time chatting, bro. Glad that we could have you on. Like I said, guys, Abraham's information is going to be in the caption in the description. So make sure to check him out, hit him up, give him a follow, so that you can stay tuned with everything that he's got coming down the pipeline. Because who knows? I mean, he's doing this stuff now, but next year it
Might be
might be,
bigger, better, and
I don't
different.
know, bigger, bet. That's whatever it is going to be bigger
For
and
sure.
better. Might be different, but it'll be bigger and better. There it is.
Thank
As
you.
well. Hey, bro, thanks so much
For
for taking
sure.
the time, man. We'll be in touch. And everybody who's tuning in, thanks for joining us. Like I said at the beginning, each and every week we got different guests that come on who are killing it in their space, who are doing different things that can come on and provide value. Abraham came on today and provided some value. So we'll be back again next week on another episode for IG Live to keep giving you guys some game. All right. So Abraham, everybody, it's been real.
Thanks,
Catch you
Julian.
guys
Thanks,
next
everybody.
time.
Take care.